We got a Kristaps Porzingis injury update as the Celtics just teased something huge at practice by Kristaps Porzingis warming up, shooting around, and even the Celtics Twitter hinting at a Kristaps Porzingis return for the possibility of Game 4. Now we know that Kristaps Porzingis would be willing to die out there for this team, but will the Celtics be able to risk Kristaps Porzingis re-injuring himself for the chance to him to win on with this squad? We'll be diving into all of that and more on this episode of Celtics Digest. I'm Bruce Velez. If you guys do enjoy the content, if you guys do enjoy this Celtics news, hit that like button and let's dive into the topic at hand today. Kristaps Porzingis possibly playing in Game 4. Now, I mentioned that the Celtics kind of teased everything, kind of looked at some stuff, and we'll be diving into that in a second here. But to start off the day, we woke up with not a Woj bomb, but with a Shams report here detailing that Kristaps Porzingis could be playing in Game 4, where he said on FanDuel Sports Network TV that there is a chance that the big man could suit up and be ready to go and play with this team. Now, from what I hear from that, I hear that it is a likely chance for Kristaps Porzingis to be out there because, in my opinion, in my eyes, Kristaps Porzingis is willing to do whatever he wants and whatever he can do to be out there. If you missed some of our last videos, he said he's willing to die out there on the court. And I've never heard that out of anybody in my entire life. He wants to win this championship. He wants to be a part of this championship winning team. And he wants to be able to contribute in those ways. And he has throughout the regular season and has throughout the playoffs in that Miami series in Game 1 versus the Dallas Mavericks. But he wants to finish it out strong with his boys. And I do not blame him. But the Celtics kind of teased something and got into some injury updates. So we got an update for you guys courtesy of Jay King, fantastic Celtics reporter, works for The Athletic, broke down how Joe Mazzulla said that Kristaps Porzingis did indeed get better from yesterday to today and is fighting hard to play in Game 4. If we want to look at this picture from Brian Robb, we can see that Kristaps Porzingis, before Celtics practice, was getting looked at by some trainers, was getting talked to. And Noah Dalzell, who is live right now, ironically, brought up a fantastic part talking about Kristaps Porzingis, getting a nice little video of him kind of stretching before the game, or before practice, excuse me. Then if we look at Jay King's tweet, we can see that Porzingis was shooting around during the open portion of practice. And we're going to be looking at a video clip here from Daniel Dabadine. I'm sorry if I mispronounced your last name, but he works for the Boston Celtics, does some fantastic coverage around this team, and he has this great clip of here Porzingis warming up through practice, and I want you guys to be able to watch. And there we go. You see Kristaps Porzingis working down low in the post, working on his mid-range shot like Jay King was talking about, and that's fantastic. And there's an abundance of clips on Twitter. I only grabbed a little clip here. If you guys want to look, you guys can see, obviously, him taking some threes, him doing some other things. And this was for the only, open portion part of practice. But it is looking good. The vibes were high at practice, and Kristaps Porzingis was out there with a multitude of clips of him taking jump shots, working on his mid-range, and trying to get his body back into this thing for Game 4. Because as we know, he wants to be out there as much as we would like to see him. Now, if we want to look at this picture right here, we can see from Gary Washburn that the Celtics do have a boot on Kristaps Porzingis, and he is wearing some sort of protective shield to play. But with this injury, it's more of a pain injury as long as they can kind of cover a thing and make sure that it's not really afflicted. I don't really know. I'm sorry. This injury is just very confusing. You hear some things about it that you're like, oh, he can play. And then you're, oh, no, he needs surgery. So then you're freaking out. It's just two complex sides of the story, two complex, sides of the spectrum. Honestly, though, I would expect Kristaps Porzingis to give it his all and try his best to be out there for this team. Like we mentioned, he's willing to die out there. He really, really wants to be able to play in Dallas versus his old team. And again, be able to compete with his teammates and try to fight for this championship. We all know that winning this championship means the world for Kristaps Porzingis. He came over, sacrificed being a second star on a really good team. He could have went to Utah. Danny Ainge wanted him. He could have played with Lauri Markkanen, and they could have been a solid, all right contender, maybe a 6 to 7 seed at best. But ultimately, he did not want to do that. He was willing to sacrifice a role, sacrifice putting up bigger stats for the championship, for the whole team purpose, and he wanted to come to Boston, and Brad Stevens made the right move in acquiring him. Now, if we want to keep looking, obviously, as well, we can see that Kristaps Porzingis was teased by the Boston Celtics that he was going to be able to play, dropping those eye emojis. And let me know what you guys think down below. Do you guys think Kristaps Porzingis is going to play in Game 4, regardless if it's for 10 minutes, regardless if it's for the whole entire game? Let me know what you guys think. Do you guys think that with the Celtics teasing it, he's going to play? I'm going to say, yes, I think he's going to play. But Josue Pavon, who does a fantastic job covering the Celtics as well for CLNS Media, also brought up the fact that Joe Mazzulla did say that Kristaps Porzingis has improved from yesterday to today and is fighting like hell to play in Game 4 and tomorrow. The decision still will be in the best interest for him as a player and as a person. So, as we all know, kind of going into Game 3, Kristaps Porzingis, if it truly was up to him, I guarantee you he would have been suited up and ready to go for this squad. But ultimately, it was down to the training staff. Joe Mazzulla, the medical staff, basically said from the Celtics, we decide what's going to happen. It's not up to Kristaps Porzingis, and that same thing is going to roll into Game 4. It is good to see him practicing. It is good to see him, warming up and getting comfortable with this team throughout the practice. And I'm sure, again, he's going to keep doing this throughout the rest of the day, stretching, warming up on the bike, getting ready to go, and truly getting his body comfortable for the finals if he wants to have a chance to go in Game 4. Like I mentioned, do I think that he's going to go? Yes. I don't care what it costs. I think Kristaps Porzingis is going to be out there on the court. Regardless if it's for 10 minutes or 15 minutes, I could see him wanting to get some run, especially if this team is looking to win this series tomorrow. Now, I know you might be saying, if we're already up 3-0, why risk it? Why want to re-injure him? Why not just sit him for this game and bring him back possibly for Game 5 if that's the case? Well, what happens if there is no Game 5? Obviously, we still win without Kristaps Porzingis, and we still prove we're a dominant team, but in my eyes and kind of my understanding of it, if I'm Kristaps Porzingis, I want to be out there regardless. If I'm his teammates, obviously we want the best for him. We want the best for him as a person and as a player to make sure he stay healthy and can help us continue to win these championships in the future. But if Kristaps Porzingis wants to go, might as well give him at least 5 to 10 minutes, especially if it's sporadic minutes here or there. Throw him in the second quarter, get him a little run, and then take him out. Kind of takes the Mavericks off balance. Oh, are they going to use Kristaps now? Are they not going to use Kristaps? Similarly to how when they brought him off the bench, it definitely was a rude awakening for the Dallas Mavericks in Game 1 and allowed Kristaps Porzingis to have that first half abomination and just really taking over for the Boston Celtics, knotting 18 points and 3 blocks. Just absolutely crazy in a comeback game where no one expected, including myself, for him to be that impactful. I know that the player said he seemingly was going to fit right back in, and I thought that meant maybe he'd get a couple blocks here and there. He'd hit his shots when you comfortably trust him, when they give him the open look. But I did not expect Kristaps Porzingis to take over a half for the Boston Celtics in a finals game, especially the first finals game that this team had taken on. Especially with Jayson Tatum and Jaylen Brown wanting to rise to the occasion, wanting to prove everybody wrong from their last finals run. It was crazy to see Kristaps Porzingis really ascend and take over. And as we've seen throughout this entire playoffs, even though we do succeed with him having there in our lineup, we don't necessarily need him to win every single game. Like I mentioned, let me know what you guys think down below. I think Kristaps Porzingis is going to go. I think he'll be out there on the court tomorrow. And if he's not, it's A-okay. But I think that the Celtics are feeling confident with Kristaps Porzingis. And I think by, dropping this little teaser here where they got the eye emojis looking at Kristaps Porzingis, hinting with him warming up, kind of practicing a little bit, I think that is a true statement that they want you to believe that he is going to go and that they're going to fulfill his dream of playing in the NBA Finals and trying to win that championship in Dallas. Let me know how you guys feel down below in the comment section, how you guys feel about the Celtics going up 3-0 in the NBA Finals. I'm absolutely ecstatic. This is fantastic. And I can't believe that the Celtics are realistically still one game away from winning a championship. I know it's not over yet, but it is just crazy to see that we are still this close from having Banner 18 in Boston. Let me know how you guys feel. Let me know how you think down below. I'm Bruce Velez. Thank you guys so much for tuning into this episode, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out, and go Boston Celtics.